G'day. Well, welcome to 8 Litre Brew. Now, today I'm going to talk about the setup, the basic stuff that you will need to be able to do your own brew in a bag system for 8 litres roughly. I normally get at about 75-80% efficiency, so I end up with about 7 litres, which gets me easily 2 6-packs of beer. Now, the idea of an 8 litre system is that you can try and mix as many different beers as you want using various grains, mixtures, yeast, hops and so forth. I preferably like to buy three packs of grain, so one base grain normally will be about 1.7 kilos, around there, and then 300 grams of a different flavour to see what different flavours will come. I use the same hop across all three. Same method of boiling across all three, adding my ingredients, yeast, everything's the same. They're fermented in the same way, they're stored in the same area, all that sort of stuff. Now the idea behind that is to work out what flavours you want. So when you do want to brew a big batch, so your 30, 50s, 20 litres, 100 litres, whatever you want to do, and you want to keg it, bottle it, or whatever you do, whatever floats your boat, then you'll know what flavour you want. And all you got to do is simply multiply your recipe. Now, there may be some variations, yeast may be different, temperature may be different because of the size of it, the way you chill it may be different, the way you brew it may be different. But this is just setting up the basic 8 litre brew in a bag system to do on your kitchen stove, or fire pit, or however you want to do it. Now, it's a bit early to have a beer, so it's definitely coffee time. I suggest that you go get yourself a coffee, pause this video, get a book and start writing down the notes because we've got a few little bits and pieces to get through here. So let's get started. Right, the start of the thing that you'll need is a pot and a bag. So the main ingredients that you'll need for that is a pot and a bag. So I've got a 16 litre pot that I use for mine. I picked this up for $16 from our local Target shop. Whether it be wherever you are in whatever country you are, you will find them just a cheap little pot. It's a good way to start at home, 16 litres. Now, you're going to want something that's going to be around 15, 16 litres because once you do your sparging of your recipe, if you choose to do that, I do personally because you get more sugars out of it, you have a little bit of room for boiling then, so you don't have any boilovers, no mess, no black tarry stuff around your stove once it cooks all the sugars. So I recommend getting a 15 litre pot minimum. You're going to need a bag. So this is my bag. I can never pronounce it right, so I'm not going to be rude and sound racist or anything like that. So it's just a mesh bag that you'd use for your kitchen. Cooking, if anyone knows how it's written and spelt right, then you know. You can get them on Fleabay for about, I think I paid $2.50 for that, including postage. And it holds 2 kilos of grain, perfect. While we're on it, grain. You're going to need grain. So I picked mine up from my local brew shop. It's a good quality brew shop. I'm not going to tell you who it is and stuff like that. I'm in Australia, Queensland, Australia. I'm not going to give any punches out for any companies because they're not giving me free stuff. Why would I punt for them? Anyway, I've got Australia Pills in here. And I've got Cara pills as well. So that's 1.75 of Australian pills, this is kilograms, and then it's 0.25 of Cara pills in there for flavouring. So this is a new brew for me. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I've done a lot of can and kilo brewing, but this is my 3rd batch of grain brewing. So I thought, why not? If the other 2 worked out well, I may as well make some videos and try and make it easy for you because it's a lot of commitment to commit to doing a 25 litre batch, or a 5 gallon or a 6 gallon batch of beer, especially if you're not going to like it. So I highly recommend this is the best way to start. 8 litre batches, you can even do smaller if you want, but it's a little bit fussier. 8 litres gives you 2 6-packs, enough time to work out whether you like the flavour or not. You let it sit there for a month or so after you bottle it and it's perfect. But anyway, there's the grain. You're going to need your hops. Now again, mine's from a reputable company, but I'm not going to show it. So I've got 2 hops here. I've got one with a 13.2 AAU, and that's to work out your bitterness. That's for bitterness, and this one's for flavour. Now, when you're talking about that, we'll talk about that later on in the recipes, how it works with your bitterness and flavour on the flow chart. I'll draw a little pretty diagram for you and we'll go from there. So you need your hops and you're going to need your yeast. Now remember, your yeast works in different areas. So if you've only got an area where you can ferment and you don't have refrigeration, you don't have anything, and you just have a wardrobe or underneath the stairs or in the basement or anyway, preferably out of the sun, you want to be definitely out of the sun. For instance, mine, I don't have a fridge or anything. Mine sits downstairs at underneath the staircases going to the lower level, and it sits at a roughly 18 degrees. So this yeast is made for that temperature. So it's got to be pitched between 16 degrees and 22 degrees. That's where mine's got to be pitched. So when you go to your brew shop and you're chasing your yeast, or you research it online and work out what yeast is going to be good, you need to find the right one for your temperature, whether it's a lager yeast or it's an ale yeast or so forth. I'm still learning a lot of things, but they're the basic stuff. So your yeast, make sure you get the yeast for the fermenting environment. Now, let's talk about fermenters. I have literally got a 12.5 litre plastic storage tub from Big W. Bought my little grommet and my little, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about, little thin fermenter lock, that's it, airlock. That whole setup cost me $8. Now, it's even got, where are we? It's even got the markings of the literage on the other side of it. So it's easy for you to tell how many litres of beer you've got. And you've got plenty of space up here. So we're going for about 7 litres, 8 litres. We've still got 4 litres of headspace there for it to ferment. Plenty of room, plenty of room. But has to be airtight. It's got a nice little carry handle. Think outside the box, guys. You don't need a big 25 litre fermenter to make an 8 litre batch of beer. It's just silly. It's just ridiculous. I did it on the first one and it was a pain in the bum. So I don't recommend it. But this setup, again, you can get your airlocks and all that from your brew shop. But the container from your local supermarket or cheap shop or dollar store or Walmart or wherever you are in the world, that's what it is. Now, I have to apologise because all my measurements and everything like that are going to be in metric. It's not in imperial, so you can buy converters or get converters for free on your phones and apps and stuff and anyway. But anyway, we're not here to talk about recipes, but just to let you know, all mine are going to be in metric. What's next? Coffee. Nah, oh, scales. You need scales. Because you've got to measure up your hops, get yourself a good set of little digital scales. Now you want to go down to 1 gram scales, minimum. So these ones are, what are they? Maximum 3 kilo down to 1 gram. And that cost me 20 bucks. They are a bit expensive, they can be worse, but I got these for cheap for 20 bucks on sale. Then you're going to need your cups for me measuring and writing around what hops and everything you got in there. So that's for your hops. So you measure up on them. You're going to need some sort of spoon to stir, whether it be a wooden spoon. I've just got this one out of my brewer's pack that I bought, my original one that came in the kit. That's to stir the grain in the bag when we put it in the pot. Now that's in a recipe, in a cook, in a brew day. You'll see that, how I do that. Now I can't stress that you do need to get yourself a good hydrometer. Now I've got myself a good glass hydrometer here, and it even comes with the where beer should start and where beer should end with the green lines. They are a bugger to read and to learn at first. And quite frankly, I don't think I've actually got the understanding of it 100%. But you do learn over time, and you do work out that where beers roughly go with grain. Now, you have all of your different recipes and your different measurements will lift up more. Like you can see, sorry, it wasn't green, I just realised that. It's beer there, and it ends on the green up here. It's got little arrows here to there, start to finish, and that helps $1 million bucks. But like I said, get yourself a good one. I think this one costs $15, but it's by far the best investment you'll get. It's a nice solid glass one, and it works a treat. And it's easy to sanitize, it's easy to clean, it's easy to store. It comes in this nice little packet that's got little foam endings on it. Perfect. Brew shops have them all. I highly recommend it. Don't stuff around with the little plastic ones or trying to guesstimate how much it is and all that stuff. Just get one. You're going to need a thermometer. Now when you're boiling, you've got to have your mash temp at a certain temperature. then you've got to have your sparge water at a certain temperature, and then you've got to boil it away. And then you've got to cool it down. You've got to rapidly cool it down so you can pitch your yeast, and you need to know the temperature. Now you can just use your glass thermometer. Works a treat. They all work. They do the same trick. Cheap, easy, and good. Now if you're like me and you hate sitting there holding stuff in stuff, digital thermometer with a probe. The only way to go. So much easier, and that one's a dual timer one. So you'll need one of them. You'll also need a book. We need to write down our recipes and our times and how much we did and all that sort of stuff. So when it comes down to it and you really like that brew, you can replicate it again. That's the main thing. You need that as well. I write all my recipes down, whether they work or fail or not, the cook times, how long I did, when I add my hops, everything. You've got to write everything down. It is a fine science to making a good beer. And yet, I have not mastered. But I have made some tasty beers, but none that have really blown me away. So, ensure that you write everything down. Now, sanitisation. You might hear it a million times, but it's true. You have to sanitise. You do. And I mean proper sanitise. Like I fill my baby bathtub up, the old one that we used to have for the kids, I fill that up with water and I soak everything in it. And then I bring it out and I wash it. And then I'll soak it again and then I'll wash it again. Now when I wash it, I use a brewer's soap. So it tells you how much you dose rate and stuff like this. This one's 10 grams per litre of water. This one's 1 teaspoon per 5 litres of the sanitizer. But you have to get a sanitizer. You have to. There's no ways around it. You have to sanitize your bottles. You have to do everything like that. Alright, so now we'll move on to bottling. Bottle up. You'll need some bottles. These are 350 bottles. I normally do it in these because I like it easier. It's easier to store at smaller amounts. And because I'm only doing 2 6-packs of each one, I've got storage shelves downstairs where I ferment as well, and that's where they all sit at about 16 degrees until I want to pop them in the fridge. These cost, I believe they're 60 cents from my brew shop each, and they're reusable, like your capping lids. Now you can buy your capping machines or you can buy the capping hammer. It's up to you. You can work that one out. It's not a hard process. But as for brewing, they are your bare necessities. So we'll go over it real quick. You need a pot, 16 litres, 15 to 16 litres, a fermenter with an airlock, roughly about 12.5 litres, 13 litres, because you need to have that headspace, hydrometer, a thermometer, a paddle, a bag for your brew in a bag system. Otherwise it's not a brew in the bag system and you're making a mash, and then you can do it that way if you want, but it's your choice. Scales, cups, some sort of container to weigh hops and yeast out. Hops, yeast, sterilizer, sanitizer, something to wash it up. You can just use your normal dishwashing powder. You can get a digital thermometer if you want. I have, because I'm lazy. And your grain. So yeah, that's basic. And this whole, all the little bits and pieces that I've bought here, I think in total cost me $50. Now, it might seem like a lot at the start when you're first outlay, and trust me, I hate parting with my money, hence why I brew my own beer. The grain and the yeast and the hops, it's an outlay at the start. The hops are about $10 for 100 grams per bag. The yeast, you can get weighed out. My brew shop weighs it out for me in 8 litre batches for me, so I'm going to have about 7 litres of brew, so they weigh the yeast for me, so it's perfect to go, ready to tip in, and that's all I do. It's worth the outlay, but each brew now costs me, for 2 6-packs, costs me about $5 for the grain. That's it, because I've got more hops and all that sort of stuff, but the initial outlay was in between $50 to $70. So it can be a bit expensive to set up, but this is the basic Darwin method, so it's easier for everyone to set up. And you can get into brewing. Like, guys, it's fun. It's really fun. The smell is sensational when you're brewing away. And to be able to hand someone a beer that you've made, and you've made your own recipe, and you've designed, and you've brewed, and you stored, and you nurtured, and you cared for, there's no better feeling in the world. No better feeling at all. So, if you're watching this, you must love beer. And if you love beer and you haven't started all grain brewing, this is the best entry level to start doing it. Brew in a bag system, which was founded in Australia, might I add, in a 16 litre pot make 8-litre batches, 2 6-packs, try what you like, get your mates to try it, tell them what they think as well. If you like it, multiply your recipe, make a bigger batch when you're ready. But I personally like having 10 or 15 different varieties in my fridge of different beers. All the way from wheat beers to just straight Pils beers, single hop, like a smash brew, so it's a single hop and a single malt, and then you just go from there. But anyway guys, well, the next brew videos, that's going to be the only thing I'm going to do for a starter to set up and everything. So the next time we're going to do it, when we're in the kitchen over the stove, being a good cook and making some beer. So keep tuned guys, you keep watching and I'll keep making beer and we'll be all happy. No worries guys, have a good one.